We know philosophy as the study of fundamental questions about existence, knowledge, values, reason, mind, and ethics. It is often described as the love of wisdom because of its etymology and what it means for the Greeks. And we know that it involves rational, critical, and systematic inquiry that uses logical arguments. But the part that I want to talk to you today is the arcane side of philosophy, which is where metaphysics, mysticism, and the esoteric merge with this reason and contemplation. As said before, philosophy is often known as the love of wisdom. This is because it comes from the word Sophia, which was understood as a divine force, a cosmic intelligence. To the ancients, Pythagoras, Plato, Plotinus, and later the Hermetic knowledge, philosophy started as a mystical discipline. Philosophers attempted to purify their soul through ethics, contemplation, and sacred study so that they can align themselves with the nous or the divine intellect. In fact, philosophy was the beginning of what is known as theurgy. The arcane side of philosophy is the esoteric dimension, is the understanding that behind every metaphysical statement lies a symbolic veil. There is a truth that is encoded and only visible to those initiated into a higher perceptions, those that have a different knowledge, those that have the keys to uncode these truths. We also have a lot of allegories. For example, we have Plato's cave and the chariot, which are initiatory myths. We have the Corpus Hermeticum that hides the process of spiritual rebirth within philosophical dialogues. We also have the Neoplatonists that saw the cosmos as a living hierarchy of divine emanations. And the philosopher's work was to return upward through contemplation and sacred ritual. These hidden layers runs through Kabbalah, Gnosticism, Hermeticism, Sufism, and of course through alchemy. All of this can also be read as philosophies of transformation. While the modern philosopher seeks an understanding through logic and analysis, the arcane philosopher seeks gnosis, a direct connection and an inner knowing of the divine. To them, knowledge isn't an abstract possession, it's an initiatory state of being. Plotinus described the soul's return to the One as a process of recollection and purification. The alchemists called it the magnum opus, the inner transmutation of base consciousness into gold. This kind of philosophy involves symbolic thinking, which is learning to read myths in forms of divine language, contemplation, meditation of the union with source and truth, and a ritual enactment, which is embodying this philosophy through sacred action. As we saw, arcane philosophy has some branches, and Hermetic philosophy, it shows up as the reality being part of the divine mind, and for his dualism as above, so below. In Neoplatonism, we have the hierarchies of being, the one, the intellect, the soul. We have Kabbalistic thought, which in this philosophy is the unfolding of the divine wisdom, different emanations, or the Sephiroth. We also have alchemy, which is the metaphysical philosophy of transformation, as we discussed before. There is the more modern Rosicrucianism and theosophical currents, which integrates not only mystical philosophy, but also a little bit of science. To walk the path of philosophy, and specifically arcane philosophy today, is to unite the spiritual practice of the ancients with inquiry. One can start by studying the metaphysical text of Plato, Plotinus, Kabbalistic writings, meditations on the philosophical ideas, the good, the one, the logos, Pure-headed, a modern philosopher rediscovered this ancient view that philosophy is a way of life and not just a mere discourse, not just a monologue. And then modern esotericism became the continuation of the ancient arcane philosophy. It evolved into Jungian psychology, integral theory of the modern hermetic or theurgic practice. Yet the heart remains the same with the axiom to know thyself is to know the universe and the gods.